It is Flutie versus Stegall. It is week 4 of the National Football League season that's underway. And just the way we drew it up, the Indianapolis Colts are undefeated coming into this. And it's a rookie Jaxson Dart who is going to get the start. Never a dull moment in the National Football League. That's Milt Stegall. There's Doug Flutie. Let's just get into it, guys. KC beats the Giants somehow, some way. Patrick Mahomes doesn't have much there around him right now, but it was the Giants who were miserable. Brian Daboll, non-committal on Monday. By Tuesday, makes the change to go to the Rook. Doug, you've been on both sides of this. What do you make of it?
Well, I think Brian's trying to save his job a little bit here. You got to throw something in the mix you got to change it up, right? To create a little enthusiasm, get the guys excited. I thought they were going to wait one more week until they played the Saints rather than dealing with the Chargers for a rookie quarterback. But I went back and watched Dart's preseason highlights and stuff he did, and he's going to make some splash plays. But still, he's a rookie, and it's regular season. He's going to get the kitchen sink thrown at him, and it may be ugly this week, and then all of a sudden he'll be the savior against the Saints, but they follow it up with the Eagles and 49ers. What amazes me is this, Milt, and I brought it up just a second ago to you. Last week the week previous against Dallas, Russell Wilson's throwing for 450 yards, 17 touchdowns, bombs down the field. He's back. He's Super Bowl. He's the. And then the next week, what have you done for me lately, Milt?
It's the Dallas Cowboys. The Dallas Cowboys right now couldn't stop a toddler on a tricycle. So everyone's going to play well against the Dallas Cowboys. But as far as Jaxson Dart goes, I mean, it's time. As you mentioned, Doug, the head coach and GM are trying to prolong their job for as long as they can. You think about it, this team is 0-3. How many 0-3 teams have made the playoffs in NFL history? I think only 6 have made the playoffs in the history of the NFL. You've been part of one, maybe.
Yeah,
so
we were.
Yeah. They have nothing to lose. They're trying to basically get going on their future. So if Jaxson Dart struggles and his team struggles, they can say, well, hey, we got a rookie in there. It's not all our fault. We drafted this guy, but we knew there was going to be some time where he was going to struggle. So give us some time to get this together and we'll be okay. So they had no choice. Russell Wilson, I hate to say it, but that may be the end for him because since he's left Seattle, he's done nothing. So putting Jaxson Dart in there was the right move.
Well, what happened down by the goal line, I thought was inexcusable when he threw got the intentional grounding call, and then especially on 4th down to throw one out of the end zone. Those are inexcusable things. Jaxson Dart, like I said, I think he can make. He threw a bunch of screen passes in preseason, so look for the ball to be out of his hand quick, unless he moves around a little bit. If he avoids and steps up, now all of a sudden he might. But he's going to make a handful of plays that are going to wow you.
It's Flutie versus Stegall. We are powered by BODOG. Week 4 of the NFL season. The big news, the New York Giants benching Russell Wilson. I get all this, fellas. That here you have a head coach and a GM. They're embattled. They're still really wearing the wounds of the Saquon Barkley decision that the behind-the-scenes show really revealed to all of us. But will a rookie change things? Like they got one last shot by the Mara family to roll this back. And I'm not for a minute suggesting that Jameis Winston is the answer. But do you go vet over rookie in this spot just because you're out regardless? You're out if you don't make the playoffs. I can't see them saying, well, we went with the kids, so that gives us the grace period. The grace period was them coming back in 2025. What say you?
I think more splash plays can happen with Jaxson Dart in there. I am a veteran quarterback guy. I'm all about the more veteran guy, and I think he's going to take his licks this week. It's how fast he gets his feet wet. If he can get through the Chargers game halfway decent and then maybe show some signs against the Saints, they can get excited. The biggest change is the attitude in the locker room today, this week, and their approach to this. It rekindles the enthusiasm of the guys in the locker room to say, hey, we're doing something different. We got a chance. Whether they actually do or not, it's a whole nother thing, but it at least gives them some kind of hope.
Well, there are 2 entities right now saying put Jaxson Dart in. The fans and more important than even the fans, the owner, the powers to be. They're saying, okay, we invested in this guy. We pay your salaries. This is what you're going to do. And they're doing it because the fans are screaming for it. You march Russell Wilson out there again and they struggle. Oh, man, those fans won't show back up. So now you have some wiggle room.
Being the backup quarterback that hasn't seen the field yet is awesome. The whole world loves it. It's like you're a Superman, Batman. You're the savior. You're first interception. They're like, oh no, here we go.
Well, it's time to go to the car dealerships before you step on the field because you'll get all the deals now.
All the deals right now before you step on the field.
The most popular guy in town, the backup quarterback, he hasn't lost a game yet. So it's Jaxson Dart going for the Giants. Down the street in Philadelphia, the Eagles offense, with somewhat a veteran quarterback, Super Bowl winning MVP quarterback Jalen Hurts, couldn't have looked worse on offense against the Rams in the first half. And then the champs showed a completely different side of themselves. We often hear, guys, about teams having, air quote, it. Did the Philadelphia Eagles have it with Saquon and Devontae and AJ and Jalen Hurts that even when they're so dreadful, maybe the worst half we've seen all year in the NFL so far, and that's saying a lot, they can rebound against a really good Rams team and find a way.
Yeah, AJ Brown, I tell you what, it's like he doesn't get the ball thrown to him enough. No. They need to kind of lean on him to go his way. What I saw from him in the second half of that game or late was pretty amazing. And Jalen Hurts is a guy that is going to do what is ever asked of him. And the situation called for it. They're the type of team that with him as their leader, whatever the situation calls for, they figure out, okay, we got to become a passing team. Okay, I've got to take off and run a little bit. I've got whatever it takes. He has a knack for winning and getting it done. From week one this season, I know there's going to be stretches where your offense struggles and things aren't going the way you want. So you shift gears a little, go a different direction. And he showed that he can win just throwing the ball too.
When you've been on a team that continues to win year in and year out, and it's basically the same guys who are doing the winning, your confidence level is sky high. You could be down 50-0 with 1 second left on the game, and you still have that feeling like, hey, guys, we can make this happen. And when they came out in that second half, I guarantee you there was no reason for them to feel like they weren't going to get it done. Their locker room speech was like, okay, God, it's just a matter of time. We're going to start making plays. The defense is going to stop them, and the offense is going to make some plays. That's what happens when you're on a winning team, when the culture there is all about winning, when everyone on that team is willing to do whatever it takes to win. So that's what they were able to do. And when you get a victory like that, your confidence level is even sky high. It's almost a gift and a curse because you feel you're invincible because you have been. So maybe they need to take a step back and realize they're still playing professional football. But what I saw of that team last week makes me think that this team thinks they can beat anybody at any given time. And as I just mentioned, that's the gift and the curse.
Flutie versus Stegall, powered by BODOG. You talk about a gift and a curse and feeling invincible. That was Caleb Williams in high school. I mean, Caleb could do no wrong at SC, gets himself the Heisman, drafted first overall, and then welcome to the pros. 20 weeks into his pro football career, he's on his third head coach. It looked dreadful on opening day for him. And then against the Cowboys, nationally televised game, there were flickers against his old head coach. He showed Matt Eberflus exactly how they should have been using him, Doug.
Everyone in the NFL should get this as a quarterback should get a start against Dallas. You get one Dallas game. It's like the guy. There's one pitcher in Major League that you can go 5 for 5 against.
That's homecoming.
Yeah, it's a homecoming. I'll tell you, I watched, and Dallas played like old 1970s, 80s zone coverage. It looked like, if he held Caleb Williams was protected, so he had a little time. And he'd just wait, and guys would work in the gaps and turn around. All of a sudden, the guy's opening the seam or the crosser behind the linebacker. I thought what he did well, though, was play action stuff, some of the downfield throws. There were 2 ridiculous plays that just he showed what his skill set really is. Now, is he there? He's going to have hot and cold games still, in my mind. But 2 plays stood out. The flea flicker, where the pitch back to him was like a lob and he had to wait for it and could barely grab. He was standing there flat-footed, threw that thing 70 yards and nailed it. Like in my best day with the running javelin and the hook, I couldn't get it there. He turned that thing loose in a heartbeat, sanding on his back foot. And the other was he ran a naked bootleg, where sometimes on a bootleg, you got to get your head around in a hurry, because the defensive end, or outside guy, whoever it is, if he takes the correct angle right at you, he's in your face right now as soon as you turn around. And that's what happened. And as soon as that happens as a quarterback, I turn, I jump, and I try to dump it right over his head to the tight end or fullback, slipping in the flat behind him. He had that reaction and threw a wide side 10-yard out. You know, for me, it's the turn. Oh, I got to dump it. For him, he turned, he saw it, and he threw the thing like 25 yards on a line out to the wide side out. So his raw athleticism, his arm strength, his skill set was on display. And maybe, confidence is a big deal. He can rally off what he did against Dallas.
Something that I've seen that makes me feel like Caleb Williams is going to have a pretty good career is the way he's handled adversity, the way he's handled criticism. And he's gone through a lot in his career. He hadn't won too many games. He hadn't had too much success. But I've seen the way he's handled that. Also, I've seen something this year that I hadn't seen in the past. And Doug, you can really probably attest to this. An area of the field that young quarterbacks hate throwing in is where, Doug? What's the area that they hate throwing into?
Probably wide side outs, wide side flat. Where are you thinking?
I'm thinking in the middle of the field.
Oh, dead middle.
I'm thinking in the middle of the field.
All right.
I'm thinking in the middle of the field because it's so much going on in between there. But now I see him have that confidence. It definitely helps that he has some blocking this year. I mean, they revamped their offensive line where last year, he got sacked 68 times. That's the third most in NFL history, where this year he's only been sacked 6 times. So he understands that he has time, but it's also his processing time. He seems to be getting the ball out faster. And when he doesn't have that number one guy, he seems to be able to go to that second and third guy. And as Doug mentioned, he had his great game against the Dallas the Cowboys. But regardless, now that confidence level is up. You can see in that last game having some fun on the sideline with DJ Moore, his leadership skills. So those 3 things make me realize that this young guy may have a pretty good career ahead of him.
When you have Komet over the middle, when you have a Dunze to complement DJ Moore, that gives you kind of that weaponry that Caleb's looking for. Bears go into Vegas, effectively a pick'em against the Raiders. Guys, there are 6 undefeated teams in the league this year. I think at the start of the season, we all probably would have said, yeah, it makes sense that Philly and Buffalo are going to be undefeated. I don't think any of us had Indianapolis on our bingo card. San Francisco, perhaps easier schedule, but probably wouldn't have seen it coming without Purdy, without Kittle, and the rest. Milt, 6 3-0 teams. Which of these ones you buying?
LA Chargers, baby. The LA Chargers and Justin Herbert, who in my opinion will be the MVP of the league this year. I'm going to put it out there. If you want to put your money on who's going to be the MVP, remember what Milt Stegall said. Justin Herbert is getting it done. He's in his 5th or 6th year, second year under Harbaugh, an offensive coordinator, Greg Roman. He's been in that system for 2 years now. And the thing I like about him, and he's always available. He's durable. Yes, he gets hit sometimes, but he's never missed a game in his career. It lets you know how tough he is. And when your teammates see how tough you are, they're going to fight for you. So, in my opinion, the Los Angeles Chargers are going to be the team this year. Will they win the Super Bowl this year? I'm not going to say that yet. They were 11-6 last year. Justin Herbert didn't play so well in that playoff game, but I guarantee you when they make the playoffs this year, not if, when they make the playoffs, we'll have a better outing this year.
Herbert right now, 3rd best odds to win MVP behind Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson, who've won each of the last 2 MVPs in the league. Doug, who you selling? Who you selling over there?
Before I start selling, I'll tell you, Justin he stepped up through the pocket, moving to his left.
Yes, did you see that?
A guy running right at him. He reached back and threw from here. There's about a 25, 30-yard ball into the end zone for a touchdown in tight coverage. His arm. I think the thing that's different this year is his athleticism because he's healthy. Like he really, I don't know. He's moving better. He's throwing I agree with you 100%. Who we selling? I'm saying the 49ers primarily because of injuries right now, that the quarterback position's unstable, with people banged up, but They're winning ugly. They're winning games. I just think they're not going to make the run. The Bills are favored in every game this year. So they're one of those teams to buy. I can't buy them because I already have them. So I just they're over here. They're in my garage hanging out.
You had to throw the Bills.
I can't. I love watching Josh Allen play. And
it's hard not to. It's hard not to, man.
And the miracle Colts for me with my upset picks and stuff. So, I don't expect that to continue too much, but it's fun to watch.
I'm also, just real quick, I'm not buying the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I'm not buying the Buccaneers. Who have they beat the Texans, the Falcons, and the Jets. Please. I'm not buying Tampa Bay. No.
I wouldn't buy. It depends on who's plays each other. They could be playing. I didn't check the schedule to see how many of these undefeateds play each other, because the 71 Dolphins are sitting around looking with their body. They got 6 bottles of champagne left, and they just pop one every week.
The Buccaneers are going to be tested this week against the Eagles. Now, if they can come out with a victory in that game, I'll buy them. But until then, no, they haven't beaten anybody.
But there you go. One of the teams is taken care of already this week.
That line's been hovering 3.5. Philly's still the favorite as they go into Tampa in the heat. Baker's starting to look dangerous again. We'll see how this all plays out, Milt. Flutie versus Stegall, powered by BODOG. Let's get into our picks of the week. And Doug, you talked about the Buffalo Bills. They are 3-score favorites against the New Orleans Saints. Now, I know that we've been dogging on the Dallas Cowboys, but Kellen Moore, be careful what you wish for when you want to become a head coach in the National Football League.
It kills me. Maybe it shows how old I am, but when I look at the guys that are coaching now and head coaches, it's like they were like little assistant coaches or not. They were in college while I was playing, and I can't picture certain people as head coaches. I'm sorry. Anyway, along those lines, I'm a Bills guy. Go with, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Stay with the Bills over the Saints for my pick. I had picked the Lions over the Browns. I had written that down, but that's another one of those big spread games. So what I'm going to do for my pick'em game is I'm throwing a curveball and switching it. We're going out to Kansas City. It's a pick'em game. It's a 50-50 shot. And I'm going to take Baltimore to rebound because they got a running back that's probably pissed off at himself right now. And going out there, and we'll run the football against KC. KC does not look dangerous anymore as of right now. They need to get some receivers back and get explosive. So I'll take Baltimore over KC. And then again, my upset team for the year, I guess I'm if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I'm going to take the Colts over a really, really, really good Rams team. Wow. So I'm not too smart.
Well, hold on. So I just want to process this. Yeah. Our man Flutie is 6-0 on his picks this year. Okay.
Yeah.
He is now picking Kansas City to start the year 1-3.
Yes, sir. And last, what was it? They were 0-2. I said, don't worry about it. They'll win next week.
Yep.
But they still looked ugly. It didn't look good. They're not explosive. It just isn't there right now. They got to get some explosiveness offensively, and it's just not happening. I mean, Patrick Mahomes is still Patrick Mahomes, and he's making some things happen here and there, but you can't do it by yourself, and they're just not in sync right now.
I know we get involved.
They're more like Backstreet Boys rather than being in sync. All right, so
there you go. Well, okay, so I don't want to get supermarket tabloid on the boy bands, but we kind of blows these things up a little more than maybe we should. But Andy Reid kind of bumping Travis Kelce on the sideline the other night. Milt, there's trouble in paradise over there?
No, there's trouble in paradise, but that's not it. I mean, those guys, they go at it all the time, and that's part of it. So people are going to blow that up. Bring out the gloves, Doug. Bring out the gloves.
Baby. Come on.
Bring out that's not a big deal. That's the least of their problems now. That's the least of their problems. As Doug mentioned, they need to find someone who can make some explosive plays for them. They just don't have it now. But the fact that Travis and they've done that they've done that when they were winning games. So I think that's a distraction from what's really going on. But that's not a big deal in my opinion. Not at all.
Milt, your upset pick of the week, your Atlanta Falcons outright knock off Washington. And full transparency, Milt made this pick before we found out about Terry McLaurin looking for additional opinions on the injured quad. I don't, well, aside from New Orleans, no team looked worse on Sunday than your Falcons. What gives?
Even if Jalen Daniels is playing, I'm still sticking with the Falcons. I believe in them. Their defense is top notch. They're only giving up 19 points a game. It's been that offense. And the problem with their offense is when they try to allow Penix to throw the ball 30, 40 times a game. That's when they've lost games. The games they won against the Vikings is when they allowed Bijan Robertson to run the ball. He ran the ball 22 times, and I think Penix only threw the ball 21 times. He is their weapon. It's not Penix. He's still learning the games. I think he's had like 8 or 9 starts. Don't allow him to go out there and throw the ball 30, 40 times, and they will win the game. Feed the ball to Robinson 30, 35 times, and they will win the game because their defense is top notch. So I think they're going to come away with the victory because they're going to be smart on offense, and that defense is going to continue doing what they do.
This is going to be a big week for his mental toughness to bounce back from what happened last week. You know, it'll say a lot about him if he does come out and have just a real solid game. Like you said, if maybe they lean on the run game more and he doesn't have to put it on his back and all that. Yeah. But this is a big week for him to rebound and show how mentally tough he is.
I want to get more to the picks in a moment. I think we still have to talk about Derrick Henry. You talk about somebody who needs to be mentally tough now. 3 straight games with fumbles.
Yes.
2 of them in critical situations. The first one, obviously, against the Bills. Then Monday night does it again against Detroit late in the game in a 1-score game. His body language, his reaction after did not look good. John Harbaugh kept him on the sideline. Guys, you've been through this before. You've seen what this can be for a veteran player. How does Derrick Henry now respond to this?
I think he has a game of his life this week. I mean, maybe we could have said that last week after it happened twice, you know, after he had a couple of fumbles. But you could see it in his eyes. He knows how disappointed, you know, he's letting the team down and this happens. He's the type of guy that puts the team on his back. I have no idea what it's like to be a power back that can just run through tackles and fight guys off. And, you know, where as soon as somebody laid a hand on me, I had to drop to the ground so I don't fumble. Like I would wrap up and fall to the ground as soon as possible. So that's where it's his mindset is, I'm going to break every tackle in the world and I'm going forever. Now, the fumble that happened this week was the guy that had gone upfield, came in the backside, and as he started going up, got a handle on the ball before. Those are the guys that cause fumbles. The guys that cause fumbles are the guys the ball carrier does not see coming. And that's what happened to him there. And I even mentioned later that Lamar scrambled and he had the same situation, but he noticed the guy and tucked the ball real quick and held it in. So that was a situation where he didn't see the guy reaching for the ball. But, you know, his mindset, he's tough as nails. He's an all-pro tailback, and he'll have the game of his life this week.
It was a hell of a play by Aiden Hutchinson.
It was great. Well, as far as me getting hit, I would fall down before I even got hit. So that was the way I avoided it. But the one thing Derrick Henry can't do, he can't change his style. He can't say, I'm going to put the ball up high or anything like that. And I say that because this man has carried the ball coming into this season, I think over 2,300 times. And he's had maybe, I think 21 fumbles. So he's had success. He hadn't fumbled the ball much. It's just a case of the fumbles in these first 3 games. So he has to rely on what he's done in the past. I've been great in the past, and I don't need to change anything now. That's the worst thing he could do right now is try to change the way he carries the ball, his running style, because it's got him pretty far in his career. So keep doing what you've been doing, and I think he'll be okay.
Yeah.
You wonder if the Green Bay Packers are going to be okay. I mean, that was a tough loss in Cleveland. They had the game won. The Browns end up winning 13-10. Yes, the Packers are 2-1. I get it. They're fine. They're going into Dallas. They're 7-point favorites. And Milt, you like the road favorite to cover the 7.
Cover the 7. They would cover 14 in this game. I mean, we've been talking about the Cowboys and how bad they are. And I said they couldn't stop a toddler on a
Milt Meyer coming out of retirement.
Oh, my goodness.
We're going to play.
The Cowboys are bad. But I'm going to tell you the one thing that's going to happen in this game, and I guarantee you Jerry Jones has gone to Schottenheimer, the head coach, and said, whatever you do Do not let that man come off the edge and sack my quarterback. Dak could get sacked 50 million times, but I guarantee you Micah Parsons will not be involved in that game plan if Jerry Jones has something to do with it. Now, this is not going to be a game. Like I say, Dallas Cowboys, their defense is just so bad and just let you realize how much Micah Parsons meant to it. But Jerry Jones is not going to let Micah Parsons go off. But 7 points, I mean, it's going to be 20 points by halftime the way these Cowboys look.
You can, what you do for the premier pass rusher is you slide the line that way so the uncovered lineman, the help goes that way, or the back is always chipping on that side, or you always have a tight end on that side. Of course, you can move your defensive lineman, bounce them around. But when you have a premier pass rusher, you have to game plan for it.
Fellas, I got to tell you, for reasons I cannot logically explain, I went back and watched the Jaguars and the Texans game from Sunday. It was pain.
It was bad.
It was bad. And yet Jacksonville is 2-1, and they are a field goal underdog to San Francisco, with the Niners missing, as we talked about, Purdy and Kittle, and now Bosa out for the year with an ACL. And that Jags offense that is, Milt, you still like them to cover an outright win over San Francisco this week?
I like it. You talk about Bosa, you talk about Purdy. They even mentioned Mac Jones may not be playing. He's hurt some. So, Mac Jones is playing. I think Jacksonville got a little mojo from that victory. As you know, winning builds your confidence. It's the best medicine to healing anything. And they were able to win. And I think they're going to pull this out against the 49ers. And I think they'll come away after this week 2-2. I know that sounds crazy, but they are playing the 49ers still. And whoever's at quarterback for the 49ers won't be Brock Purdy. So Jacksonville will come away with a victory.
I had Jacksonville last week, and so I watched that game from beginning to end. Oh, that was painful.
You were able to watch it, huh?
Oh my God! I kept turning around. We had people that I keep turning around on the kitchen table, and I'm like, "This is the ugliest football game I've ever." And this was early on,
bad. So
and
bad.
It got worse. The procedure calls, whatever, just trying to hand it to the other team and throw the interception. They throw it back to you. It was ugly. But Jacksonville got the win. So maybe it does boost a little confidence and roll into San Francisco.
So let's sum up the picks powered by BODOG. Milt likes Atlanta to cover an outright win over Washington, the Packers to run over Dallas, and the Jaguars to knock off San Francisco. Doug's lock of the week, Bills, even with the points over the Saints, Detroit over Cleveland. And how about this? Mr. Flutie believes Daniel Jones and the Indianapolis Colts will be 4-0 by Sunday evening.
We switched. We switched.
Oh,
we can't have the Lions.
Okay.
Because I had two big spread games. I'm not allowed to do that. So I took the 50-50 game out in Kansas City. We've got Baltimore over KC.
Let's go through that again. Take 2 and 5-4. I'm just kidding. No. Doug Flutie likes Kansas City to be 1-3 at the end of the week. I think that's just as bold as.
Wouldn't it be great to see Taylor Swift 1-3?
I don't know if you guys saw the Jumbotron shot. They had the Taylor cam at the Meadowlands the other night. And it was just kind of following the crowd, and then it came around, and it was LT smoking a cigar up on the
I know, yeah.
It was the Taylor cam. All right. This has been episode 3 of Flutie versus Stegall. We're powered by BODOG. We appreciate you joining us. We'll see you next week after week 4 in the NFL.